Donald Trump has officially reacted to Joe Biden's VP pick, Kamala Harris, and it went exactly how you would expect it to. Here he is speaking to Sean Hannity on Fox News.
Well, if you read the various political pundits, you would have said that maybe that would have been the one. A lot of people think it's a dangerous choice. I think, she's the most liberal person supposedly in the Senate. That's pretty liberal, but she's supposed to be the most. I'm not sure that's what the country wants. I think if it is, we've got problems, but I would be surprised if it is. She wants to raise taxes. She wants to get rid of your Second Amendment. No guns for protection, no nothing. She's very strong on the Second Amendment, getting rid of it. And very bad to the military. She wants to cut the military. She wants to cut spending for the military and the vets. And, I don't quite get the choice.
Okay, so I want to debunk everything that he mentioned in that long list of lies. But I want to first start by saying that Donald Trump referring to me as dangerous would be like the best day of my life. Like if Donald Trump called me dangerous, I'd be like, damn right I am. Like that was a giant compliment. But
Anna,
look,
I just want to say, he would definitely think you're nasty. I'll say that. I don't know about everything else, but he'd definitely call you a nasty woman.
Dangerous, as my dad would say. No, but look, obviously there were some accusations there against Kamala Harris that I actually wish were true, right? So for instance, the first accusation was that she's the most liberal person in the Senate. That's a strange comment to make when the Senate includes Bernie Sanders, who's demonstrably more progressive than Kamala Harris is. And on various issues, you have Tammy Duckworth, who's also good, has a progressive viewpoint on various issues. Even Elizabeth Warren, I would argue, is a little more progressive than Kamala. She's not the most liberal or the most progressive or the furthest to the left in the Senate. We know that. I wish she were, but she's not. And he made it sound like she's the most liberal person in the Senate, and for the Senate, that's pretty liberal. The Senate's controlled by the GOP. What are you talking about? Like he's trying to make the Senate seem like it's like this Marxist bastion in our system of government, and it's just not even close.
Yeah, I know we're gonna get to some other takes. The attempt to pitch her as like Mao's lefty, cousin or whatever. It just if you just look at a couple of the scorecards based on Senate voting record, then you can put together a rating of her that she looks super competitive. And I have no doubt that compared to 15, 20 years ago, compared to those Democrats, yes, she's probably more progressive on certain issues. But okay, if she's that left, why didn't the left like her during the election? Why not? Why are they responding the way they are now? Should they be excited? I mean, if she's a radical, if she's a leftist radical, and now we've got one, wouldn't that be good? It's so ridiculous. Like they really do think that they can try to fool their base, or maybe fool us into thinking that it's the case. It doesn't work. We look at not only the Senate voting record, we look at how you stick to your guns on the most important issues, who you're willing to take on to advance those issues. All of it. Are you a leader on these things? There are leaders on these issues. There are far left leaders that we like. And I would, 2 years ago, if all of a sudden Kamala Harris had been that person, we would have loved it here. But we didn't. That means something.
There were other accusations there, including the fact that Kamala Harris would raise your taxes and get rid of the Second Amendment. Look, I think that getting rid of the Trump era tax cuts is important, and I've heard Biden say that he would reverse them, and I believe that Kamala Harris is on board for that. But those are tax cuts that overwhelmingly help the wealthiest people in the country. So when Trump sends a message like that, it's basically sending a message to millionaires and billionaires that, hey, don't support this candidacy because Kamala Harris is gonna raise your taxes. But honestly, even Wall Street executives are very happy. In fact, they spoke to CNBC yesterday when it was announced that Kamala Harris would be the vice presidential pick for Biden. And they basically told CNBC that they're not planning on attacking her because they're relieved that it is a moderate ticket. Biden and Kamala Harris, moderate ticket. So it's not this far left, ticket that we would personally prefer, right? Yeah. And then one final thing, When the National Defense Authorization Act came up again, and of course that's the funding for the Defense Department, and the Senate needed to vote on it. Bernie Sanders wanted an amendment to that bill that would indicate that the military would get a 10% budget cut, and then that money would then be, sent to other governmental or, agencies that would help people. And Kamala Harris voted against cutting the military budget. She put out a statement saying that she agrees with cutting the military budget, but she just thinks that we need to do it strategically, meaning she's never gonna vote to cut the military budget. Let's keep it real. So everything that he fear-mongered about there was nonsense. And it's funny because everything that he said there, again, is not something that I consider fear mongering. I just wish those things were true. It's just, again, demonstrably not true. And then one other video I want to show you, John, is the attack ad that Trump had ready to go against Kamala Harris. Here it is.
Kamala Harris ran for president by rushing to the radical left, embracing Bernie's plan for socialized medicine, calling for trillions in new taxes, attacking Joe Biden for racist policies. Voters rejected Harris. They smartly spotted a phony. But not Joe Biden. He's not that smart. Biden calls himself a transition candidate. He is handing over the reins to Kamala while they jointly embrace the radical left. Slow Joe and phony Kamala. Perfect together. Wrong for America.
John, what's also interesting is that the Trump campaign put out an email yesterday about how the left is basically angry at Kamala Harris as the VP pick, and that we're rebelling against the party. So they're sending out two different messages, and I don't know if that's just a failure of coordinating within the campaign. The campaign's made a lot of mistakes so far, luckily, but that's where we're at.
Yeah. Joe Biden's not that smart. I would love to see the ads that they had ready for all of the other possible ones, because conceivably they had to have them ready to go for 6 to 10 names, but they won't release them, I think, because they're probably virtually the same ad. It's just they ran to the radical left and then insert anything that could be interpreted as semi-liberal, basically. And by the way, the way that they're attacking Joe Biden, the idea that he's too progressive or he's too left. Like, first of all, we knew that they were gonna do that, and we warned people to not choose a primary candidate based on fears that they would be attacked as a socialist, because we said they were gonna do that to anybody, and they're indeed doing that to anybody. But also, it is really like the weakest way that they could have gone. If they had something better to attack him with, they would have done that. Just pointing out that he's left. I mean, that's how they've ran virtually every presidential campaign throughout our lives. They've had all this time to prepare for Biden and potentially for Kamala Harris. They've been saying they wanted her to be picked. Against Joe Biden, the best they've come up with now is that he's sleepy or whatever, while Trump is falling apart visually in each interview that he has. And with Kamala Harris, they can't seem to decide whether she's this crazed cop, which obviously we have an issue with her background in terms of that. But in those ads, they're saying that she sided with the police and like she's totally out of step with these protesters. But then she's also saying, they're saying that she wants Portland, that she wants every city in America to look like Portland, that she's with Antifa and the protests. But those are diametrically opposed positions, and they can't seem to decide which is going to be more damaging. Or maybe they just hope that their base can be convinced that both are true simultaneously.
Right, look, if Kamala wanted Portland to look the way that it's been looking under the Trump administration, well then she would just allow Trump to keep doing what he's doing, because the civil unrest is happening under Trump's watch. Yeah. I mean, like that, like the ad campaign, trying to scare Americans about what the country will look like, using images and video from what the country looks like right now, makes no sense to me whatsoever. But it goes to show you how little Trump really thinks of the people who vote for him. He thinks they're stupid. He thinks that they'll fall for that. I think a significant portion of his core base will fall for that. And they won't be their brains. It's does not compute. These are current images, not from the future, but it doesn't matter. Alternative facts. They're just okay. But what we really need to do is really fight to make sure that people have their mail-in ballots, that people are not disenfranchised when it comes to casting their ballots. And unfortunately, Donald Trump is doing everything and anything he can to dismantle the postal service so it becomes increasingly difficult for people to vote. And that's something that needs a lot more attention. And honestly, we need a real fight coming from the Democratic Party. And I honestly haven't seen enough of that.
Want to win a free electric scooter? Well, our partners at Aspiration and Zoom Electric are making it possible. All you have to do is head to tyt.com/greensummer for your chance to win.